Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Popcorn and Coffee Table Talk, where we are discussing the Book of Boba Fett. I'm your host, Jesse, and with me is Jahazel on the other side of the screen.
What's up, everyone?
How are you?
I am fantastic.
And you watched the episode, I'm assuming, because we're talking about it.
I was just going to wing it and see if people could tell, but
This episode was about the Mandalorian, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it. This is the final chapter of the Book of Boba Fett, at least volume 1. I don't know what it is, the book, so they're in volumes.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the finale?
Fantastic. Loved it. I mean, it ended perfect. Like, I really enjoyed the whole episode. The last 3 episodes combined, if that was the entire season of the Book of Boba Fett, would have given it 5 stars. But it's not. So I do have one major issue with the finale, which we can get to later on.
I think it was one of the best episodes out of all of them. It's kind of how I expected a lot of the series to be. I expected a lot of the series to be what we got today.
Yeah.
And then the finale to be bigger than what we got today. I wouldn't consider this a grand finale in any way. It's just better than all the other stuff that we've been given.
Yeah.
Which isn't great. I mean, if all the other stuff is subpar, then this is still subpar in my opinion, but it is better than the other stuff. And I'm not even counting the 2 Mandalorian episodes that we got prior to this, because that was all set up for Mandalorian season 3 and had nothing to do with what we got in the Book of Boba Fett outside of bringing characters back together.
Yeah.
So it was a fun episode, but this season, this whole show is not good. It just isn't.
No, I give it 2.5 stars
as a whole.
Yeah,
I would agree with
out
that.
of 5. Yeah.
And it's only got that much because of the Mandalorian episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. If they would have take away the last 2 Mandalorian episodes and make them like the previous Boba Fett ones, and I don't even know if I can give it 2. Like,
so the episode started out with them inside of that casino bar cantina thing that was blown up, and they're like, oh, it's an all-out war now. It never felt like an all-out war at any point in the series. Even this episode didn't feel that way.
No.
Again, we can get to it at the end, but so they're still trying to get their teams together, and the people from Freetown are either coming or they're not, or they're coming or they're not, and you knew they were coming.
Yeah.
The fact that they kept saying, we don't know if they're coming, we're like, just stop, because we know they're going to show up. And then the fights broke out. They spent copious amounts of minutes discussing their plan intricately. Nobody's getting through their lines, all exits blocked. And then the very next scene is, oh, they got through, and all that meant nothing.
Yeah. You have they have 3 different sections of the city on lookout, and you've got 1 or 2 people at each section. What do you think's going to happen? These people, you were just saying how they had an army that was coming, and they know who works for you. So what did you think they were going to do?
And then on top of it, we had one very brief scene earlier in the season where he's sitting at the table like a mafia don with the other town's leaders. I don't know who those guys represent, gang leaders. And he's like, I don't care if you fight for us. All we ask is that you don't fight for them.
Yeah.
And so they were pretty much neutral until this episode. And then it's like, haha, we turned on you. And all those other guys who are supposed to be neutral join the bad guys. Why? I don't know. They didn't want the spice trade to end, I guess, because everybody, even Ming-Na Wen's character Fennec, saw the profit in allowing the spice trade to continue.
Yeah.
What did you think of Boba in this episode?
I can't, like, he's not Boba Fett. He's not what Boba Fett was supposed to be. And he's the whole time he's just like, I have a good heart. I'm a changed man. I think no, don't be.
The whole episode, the only notes I have are on how bad his character is. The only notes I wrote down, because my very first note is he has 0 intimidation factor. Like, even the first scene when him and all of his people are standing in that cantina and they're like creating their plan. Their plan was to go back to his palace, Jabba's palace, and wait it out there. And literally everyone else says, no, we're doing this. And he's just like, okay, we're doing that.
Yeah.
He's not in charge of anything.
No.
And yet he makes it seem like he is. Like, that girl was like, you do what you want, but we're staying here. And he goes, we're all staying here. Like it was his idea. And and they're like, no, dude, she was going to do that with or without you.
Yeah. And the scene where him and the Mandalorian are in the blown up casino and they're standing there talking and he's like, look, you can go if you don't want to, be here. And he's like, no, I already, like, it's against my creed to back out of my word and stuff. And he's like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you want to stay here? He's like, no, I'm going to be here. I told you I would. Then they keep monologuing a little bit. And then a little later, he goes, like, Boba asks him again, like right after, like, are you sure you want to be here? And he was like, why? He just told you it was against his creed. Although I love Mando's line. Like, he's just like, no, this is the way. Like,
and that's what's unfortunate. And I really think they pigeonhole themselves because Mandalorian is such a far more interesting character in all aspects. Not only is he cooler looking and he has cooler guns and gadgets than Boba Fett does. Boba Fett's were cool back in the 80s. He was the cool hip one. Now it's Mandalorian. He's a cooler character. He's got more personality. Everything about him is better than the version of Boba Fett that we have.
He keeps his helmet on.
For crying out loud. Like, that's the only thing you have for going for you in terms of intimidation. Keep your helmet on. Nobody wants to see your wrinkly old face. And it's not scary.
And I'm embarrassed to see it.
And then it was just like, I'm really thrown more now than I ever have been with Star Wars, especially with the bounty hunter characters like the Mandalorians, where they're wearing armor, but you can obviously see where they don't have armor. Like, they have shoulder armor, they have some wrist armor. All this is cloth.
Yeah.
All this is cloth. Their sides, cloth. Everything's cloth. And when they're getting shot, they're standing there. They're getting shot. They're only getting shot in armor.
Right.
The whole time. So they're not getting hurt. They're just getting knocked down.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, you're not going to kill them off. So you're not going to kill them. But it's like, there are so many spots where those lasers should have been hitting them and just going straight through them.
Well, and I feel like in the Boba Fett's armor back in the 80s, I feel like it was hard, like solid through all of their
full body suit. That's what I always thought it was.
Yeah. Because it looked, I mean, I understood his looking differently because it was sitting in the Sarlacc pit for, however long and all that. So I understand him like having to make modifications. I don't understand why Mandalorian's armor, and granted, he has upgraded it. Anytime he gets the best paid in the best car, he takes it and gets it upgraded. So
at least that he's trying to, at least it seems like, build a full body suit.
Yeah.
To some extent. Yeah. But I guess in my mind, it's like a stormtrooper, they have full body armor suits that they wear, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just something I noticed because there was that one scene that went on for a long time where they were surrounded and just constantly being shot. But every time they're just like getting up, getting hit in the armor and getting knocked back down, getting up, getting hit in the armor and getting knocked back down. Yeah. It's just like, okay, maybe just stop.
Yeah. That was a fun scene though. It was a good throwback to like the old West shootouts and stuff. That's what it was. And I did enjoy it.
I enjoyed all the fight scenes.
Yeah. No, as a whole, it was really fun, and it was sad to see the Gamorrean guards get knocked off a cliff. Or we actually didn't see them die; they just got knocked off a cliff. So there's they could be alive. I don't know.
They're bacon.
I don't want to eat that bacon.
Green eggs and ham much?
So two things that bothered me with it. One, Cad Bane's character.
That's the blue guy.
That's the blue guy.
I kept calling him Ant-Man. Because he looks like an ant and a man.
He's his alien creature. He looks different, but he is a species as in the other Star Wars films.
Okay.
So my issue is, and not necessarily with this episode, more as just as a series as a whole. So him and Boba obviously have some history. There's something there. They hit on it hard.
Show me that.
Yeah. Why were we not getting flashbacks of that the entire series? No, we get flashbacks of Boba with the Sand People. The Sand People don't even come to help him because they're all dead.
And what was his name?
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane?
Yeah.
Even he was like, your Sand People family are dead.
Yeah.
And it's just like, none of us care about the Sand People. Stop talking about the Sand People. What I want to see is y'all trying to kill each other like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That's what I want to watch.
Yeah, it would have been great to see flashbacks of him and Cad like training or doing whatever they did, because obviously there was history there, and then him showing up and then there being that, like, you know,
he was a creepy, intimidating looking character.
Yeah. Could have been like that Darth Vader Obi-Wan show off in A New Hope. Like,
it was just a waste, you know. And I said it once. I don't know if I've said it on the recordings or not. I probably have. But what I really wanted to see from the book of Boba Fett is obviously chapters from Boba Fett's life, not just the last 4 years of what he's been doing,
right?
Which are the most boring out of all of the years. But like, cast a younger actor to play Boba Fett in his 20s and 30s, and let's just see him and what he's doing for the Empire and what he's doing just to make money and just being ruthless and going up against more ruthless people than him. That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. What we got was boring.
Yeah. No, 100%. It was a waste. And Robert Rodriguez directed this last episode. He directed a lot of the episodes in the series. And if he had any say in a lot of the writing along with that, that's why the story was weak and boring, because he's not a good director. He's not a good storyteller.
I don't know. I don't know how much influence he had in the writing. Everything that I see just really says Jon Favreau and another guy named Noah Kluwer. But I think they just picked poor storyline. I think they picked a poor storyline, and they realized that about halfway through the show. Because it's just, what'd you think about the him going and getting the Rancor?
Oh, that was cool. I got excited. I was like, no way.
I knew exactly what he was going to do. There's just two problems that I had with it. Two things in this episode that happened that either shouldn't have happened or should have been the primary things that happened.
Uh-huh.
Because he goes and gets the Rancor and just destroys everything and everyone. Why wasn't that option A?
Right.
Why didn't you start there? Or the other thing is he tells Fennec to go and find the mayor. And we get 1 30-second scene of her slaughtering all the heads of all the bad guys. Why didn't you do that first?
Yeah.
And just take everyone out. Cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
I didn't even want that scene in there because it was one of the coolest scenes in the whole episode. And it's like, well, you should have, a lot of people died out in the streets because you didn't make that decision 2 days ago. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing? Why?
Yeah. Well, I think with the Rancor, I think the reason they didn't use that as option A is because he Boba Fett kept talking about how, oh, we don't want to destroy the city. We want to keep the city in one piece. We don't want to destroy it. And then when those like, I don't know, droideka daddies came walking in and was destroying everything, I think that he just was like, okay, well, screw it. I'm going to get my secret weapon. I don't know. Maybe not.
That I did like too, was them trying to figure out what weapon would get through, and the dialogue of like, well, these type of weapons don't work and these type of weapons don't work. And like the tension was really low in those scenes, and they're right next to it. But it's because they're right next to it that the tension's so low, because that giant thing has to literally turn around and like back up to even aim at him, and all they have to do is like move to the right. So it's like they couldn't stop it, but they couldn't. It was just a really well-crafted sequence, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when he pulls out that dark saber thing that he has, and it's not working, nothing's working. All the side quest stuff I didn't really care about. Once all the group of people separated from Boba and Mando, I didn't really care what they were doing.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny. Boba Fett gets knocked off the Rancor, and then all the good guys start shooting the Rancor that he was just riding. Yeah. It really did seem like another scene just to let Baby Yoda do his force sleep stuff. And then he just goes and curls up next to it, which I
know. I was like, what?
And then that woman's weird. She's like, well, I guess we can't eat it. Because he went and like laid next to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So, what do you say overall? What final thoughts do you have on the Mandalorian?
Oh,
not on the Mandalorian. Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Boba Flat. Am I right?
Boba Fett / Mandalorian season a third. So
it's like Lion King 1.5.
Yeah.
But it's Mandalorian
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. Did you watch the end credit scene?
I did. Yeah.
See, I wish they would have brought, like, I don't understand the whole point of them killing Timothy Oliphant's character off.
There wasn't one. Just so he wasn't there for the final fight.
Yeah, which I wish he had been there, because I really like his character in that show.
I know. Again, and this is my biggest problem with the show. I like all the characters in the show, except the one in the title.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Even the tentacle head dude that worked for the mayor.
Yeah.
Like this episode, I was like, I kind of like his character.
Yeah.
Before he didn't have much to do and he was just kind of there. But I'm like, no, he's growing on me, you know?
Yeah.
And they give him the comedic breaks and it works. And then the mechanic woman.
Yeah.
She's funny and she's got a lot of comedic beats. I loved all the characters and I love the world. My biggest problem is the whole time I'm watching it, I'm sitting there going, this is about Boba Fett. And if he were to get shot and died, I would not care. I wish he wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The most hardcore thing Boba Fett did in that entire series was when he said, hey, I'm going to give you, the tentacle head guy thing, my things of surrender, like my terms of surrender. And he sent him out there with it. And it wasn't even a thing of surrender. He's just like, no, they're probably going to shoot you, but I don't know.
And man, the fight between him and Cad Bane was decent. But again, you gave us backstory 2 seconds before that and are expecting us to be invested in two characters that we've never seen together before.
Right.
There could have been way more drama to that, and there just wasn't.
Yeah.
Who do you think the audience of this was? When they're writing this and when they're directing this, who do you think the audience is supposed to be?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. So I think that probably they were looking to hit people that were born in the 90s or mid to late 80s.
You think so?
Yeah, and my reasoning behind my thought behind that is Boba Fett was pretty, I mean, he was big back in the 80s when this came out. He was always a popular character, but I remember him being like really popular in the 90s. I remember, like, I mean, me, a bunch of couple other people in our friends group and stuff growing up, we all we wanted the Boba Fett character. We wanted the Slave One ship when it came out. He was popular. So I think they were trying to target that age group.
Yeah.
With it. That's why they created it, because a lot of people, my age, were wanting it. We wanted a Boba Fett series or movie. And unfortunately for them, it didn't hit. They didn't do it well, and it didn't hit, at least not for me.
I just feel like it was directed at an even younger audience, like almost my kids, because, and again, maybe it's just my brain and the expectations that I had, but I expected it to be tonally heavier than what it was and darker,
Yeah.
And even if he was trying to become a good guy, still struggling with like, well, the easy way out is for me to just kill everyone.
Yeah.
What I want to do is just kill everyone and not talk. But what I'm trying to become is someone who talks and is a diplomat and all these different things. We didn't get anything, You have it's not a fat head, is it? But you have like a wall graph of Boba Fett.
No, I had a big cardboard cutout of him at one time, but I sold it.
That was just as lifelike as this character.
Yeah. Yeah, the scene where Finnick went at the end and killed like all the heads of the mayor and stuff, that's what I think we were expecting the entire show. Like, oh, hey, you disagree with me?
Yeah.
You're not gonna do what I want? Well, I'm gonna kill you.
But in my mind, and this is where I'm struggling with it, I think this is another reason why I dislike it so much more, because what I expected Boba Fett's character to be was dark and twisted and ruthless. And this show is saying he was long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, I want to see that though. I want to see that guy, whether he's struggling with morality or not. I want to see that version of him.
Yeah.
And we got none of that. But the first scene, Mandalorians, in this show, the first scene we get is him like, I don't want to kill you. Oh, crap. I have to kill all of you. And he just kills a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That's what I expected Boba Fett to be. Boba Fett was nothing. So boring.
That's what happens when you meet some sand people and they befriend you.
He went on a walkabout and found religion.
I mean, in the words of Boba Fett, this whole show was bantha fodder. Just gonna say it. I said it. There, I said it.
I wish at least that the show would have ended with him like tripping out, and then a lizard just pop out of his nose, and the whole show be a dream sequence, and he's still with the sand people.
That would have been amazing.
Really 180. I don't know. This show was so boring.
Or he's dead.
Or he's dead. Or it's a clone. And he's still there. What if he has clones of himself and he's just like, send it out there to die. I've got another one.
Is Camino still a planet? Can they just still clone?
I'm not saying like he's still making it. I'm just saying he's still got some. Like he's got a basement somewhere and there's a bunch of hymns just chained up.
Bunch of hymns, singing hymns.
Bunch of hymns. Yeah, just everywhere. They're all old. There's still got to be some of his clones out there somewhere.
I mean, they all would have been a part of the Empire, worked for the Empire. So
I guess they age much faster though. So even if they survived the war, they'd still probably be dead.
I thought they aged to a certain point and then stopped aging. I thought that's what
I'm sure that they still die though. Well, I know Clone Wars is set up like there's one main character in the Clone Wars series where he's like, it looks like an old man Boba Fett because he was a clone who lived and then he works for like the Republican. He's got a big old gray beard. I don't know. I don't know that side of the story. I don't watch that show, but I do know.
I don't either.
I don't have any other notes. I just wrote in all caps Mandalorian hype.
Yeah, which that comes out later this year or next year.
I'm not sure. I did see an update today that the Obi-Wan series comes out at the end of May.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for, except for the fact that I watched this. And if they make that like they made this, I'm gonna be really sad.
Well, I guess it just depends on what you're expecting. Like what we expected from the Book of Boba Fett, we didn't get, so we were disappointed. On top of the fact that it's bad storytelling and poor writing, which we know Jon Favreau can write good stories. He wrote 2 seasons of The Mandalorian that were phenomenal.
I know.
So that's the only reason why I think that Robert Rodriguez had a little bit of more of a hand in this.
It sounds personal.
I don't like Robert Rodriguez.
Come on, man.
Spy Kids, come
on. Okay, what about Spy Kids 2?
It was a little better. But that was Steve Buscemi stole the show in that one. So
that he did. What about?
Nope, I don't need to see Sylvester Stallone in 3D and Spy Kids 3D. Nope.
Oh, no, I think they made Spy Kids 4D.
Spy Kids 3 was in 3D.
But I'm looking at his filmography right now, and it says 4 was 4D. Like,
oh, really?
Movie. 3D and 4D.
I never saw the 4th one.
He was a producer on Once Upon a Time in Mexico. He was a producer on From Dusk Till Dawn.
He does not look like I thought.
Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah. I look up a picture of him and I'm like, oh, this is what he looks like. I was expecting him for whatever reason. I thought he just looked like this, like Danny Trejo.
Oh, God.
I pictured Robert Rodriguez, Danny Trejo too.
Because his last name is Rodriguez?
Yeah.
He only directed 3 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He did chapter 1, chapter 3, and chapter 7.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I thought he did more than that.
Again, he might have still had a bigger hand in it, even if he wasn't directing it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Whatever.
Yeah. That's truly let down. Would you recommend this to anybody?
No.
Yeah,
no.
I can't say I would either.
The only people I guess I would recommend watching it would be people who like The Mandalorian. But even then, I'd be like, hey, watch the last 3 episodes and you'll be set for Mandalorian season 3. You don't need to watch the first 4.
It's true.
Like, you seriously don't. Like, that's it. Like we said, it set up Mandalorian season 3 for Mandalorian. We know where he's at now. He got Grogu back. So if you jump into Mandalorian season 3, you're not going to be like, whoa, wait, why has he got Grogu back? So
I knew they even had to cut to the scene where he's in his starfighter.
Yeah.
And the droid pod spot is where he was going to put, like, it was so predictable. Like, even the stuff with Mandalorian in this was 100% predictable. I was like, I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is fine. At least that was still entertaining, but
I did find it funny that Grogu, like, I don't know if he stole Luke's X-Wing.
Oh, I think R2 was flying it.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. R2 was told to drop him off.
Yeah. I was hoping they were going to bring Luke in to bring him back, and Luke was going to help. But
not with that CGI.
No.
But any other thoughts on this?
Nope, that's all I got. So
yeah, we will
Mandalorian.
The next thing.
Book of Boba Fett season 1 is a wrap.
Do you think there'll be a season 2? I doubt it.
I don't know where they would go from this point.
I know.
I hope not. I don't think that they would have enough. I don't think they have enough decent reviews.
Well, granted, with that being said, they had an end credit scene with Timothy Olyphant's character. I think they'll at least do a spinoff and let him do some stuff.
I would love that.
Which I'm 100% fine with.
Yeah, give me a series about his character.
And even if Boba Fett shows up in that would be okay.
Yeah.
Just nothing else of the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Because all you gave us was like a pamphlet of Boba Fett. It was more like a news clipping of Boba Fett. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep. So if you've not watched Mandalorian or not into it, don't bother with this. It's garbage. If you do watch Mandalorian, just watch the last 3 episodes. That's all I got to say on that.
True story. All right.
Yeah.
Well, where can they find us?
Check us out over at Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review there. Let us know what you think. You can check us out on YouTube, which is where this will be dropping tonight. Yeah, comment. What are your thoughts on the Mandalorian? Or there I go again. What are your thoughts on the book?
It's the Mandalorian. It's the Mandalorian.
What are your thoughts on the book of Boba Fett? Who do you like? Do you like Mandalorian? Do you like Boba Fett? Do you like Finnick? Yeah.
He had an assassin working with him the whole time. Why did he not just send her out to do his bidding?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Maybe Book of Boba Fett season 2. Okay. Opening scene. Finnick shoots Boba Fett.
Oh gosh.
And then we change to the Book of Finnick because I want to know more about her backstory.
No doubt. So, but
yeah, guys. All right.
You can leave us a email, hit us up in the DMs of Instagram. We'd love to hear from you guys. Please go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review though, for sure.
Yeah. Check us out on our website. We got a new website, right?
Oh, we do. Thank you for bringing it up. Dropped yesterday.
Yes.
And it's Popcorn and Coffee, a movie podcast. The website.
.com? .org?
.wordpress.com.
.wordpress. Okay, there we go.
So go check that out, and you can listen to the pod there too. You don't have to go to a streaming what are they called?
Podcast.
A distributor like anyway podcast. You don't have to go there. You can just listen to the pod right on the website.
Yeah.
So thank you for reminding me. So.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye.